Hi, today I want to show you how to create a blog page in TekMatix. So this is basically what I'm talking about is how to create this page where people can actually come in, interact with your blog and find your blog and be able to click on a blog post and actually be able to read it just like this. So how we're going to do that is I'm back in my TekMatix dashboard and I'm going to go to my sites and courses and I want to build out my blog page within my website. So I'm going to come up to my website and then I'm going to go into this test website, which I really just made for tutorial reasons. So in here, I'm going to add a new page and I want this to be my blog. So I'm going to title it blog and I'm going to make the path blog as well. And then I can create a new page. And then I'm just going to create from blank and build it out how I want to build it out. So just clicking the create from blank there. And when this opens up, it's going to open up into just a blank canvas here. So the first thing I want to do is go to my global sections and add in a navigation header. I'm going to show you real quick if you go to your global sections and it doesn't show a navigation header at all, go to your main website page. And what you're going to do is click the header or the area. You're going to go up to your section and click manage. And then you're going to want to hover over the section that is the header that you want to make a global thing. And over here, there's this save. And when you click this save, you can switch it from a template to a global section. And when you click global section, it will then save this so that you can access it across all the pages within that website. You can also make certain things templates as well. Okay, so that now we have our global header in here. Now we want to be able to add in a couple things. So in my case, I really wanted to have not just my blog appearing, but like some kind of actual header. So in this case, we are going to add in a section here. So I'm going to click on this and go to my sections, manage, click on my sections, and then go to add section. And I'm going to click a full width section here. And in this, I want to mainly add in a one column header. So if you go all the way down, once you've clicked on the sections, allow it to take the full width. That way it's actually going the full width. And I'm just going to make a headline that says my blog. So obviously you're probably going to want like your actual brand on this or something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add an image behind here. So I'm going to come down to my image URL and there's this little button here for me to add it. And I'm going to pull in the image that I actually used for my blog. And now I want this to be bigger so I can see more of the image. So you can see here where I've added the image to is actually the row. So it's in the blue box. So what I then need to do is increase the margin between my column and my row to make it bigger. So I'm going to click on my column and I'm going to increase my margin on my bottom and my top. So now you can see that's a little bit bigger. And now when you move, you can see that the actual image is kind of moving along with it. So if you wanted to change that, you can actually change that here. So this is making it parallax, and so that means it's going to move with it. If you don't want it to move, you can just full center it, and it's going to be stagnant now. When it moves, the image isn't going to move behind it. So that's how you can do that. Now, let's just add in another section here. We're going to make it another full width section, and in this case, we're going to add a 2-row column. And I'm going to just once again allow it to take up the entire width, make it look a little bit nicer for me at least. On my left-hand side is where I'm going to display my blog. And on my right-hand side is where I'm going to display like something else. So in my case, I have an opt-in. You could have a column with information in it. You could have something for a product, anything like that. So I'm just going to click add element and then I'm going to go to the blog and click blog post list. And that's going to show just like fake blog articles just so you can kind of play with it. And then you can add in more in the future. So you can do a compact look. So that's going to look like this. Or you can do a standard look, which is how I had my blog set up originally. I haven't really decided which one I really want to go with, but let's do the compact one for now. Then the pagination which will control how many blogs you are allowing it to show on the page. So we could set this to like 3 blogs and it will only show 3, or you could set it to like 10 blogs and it's going to show up the top 10 before you click more stories. And you can always change what that more stories is. You can say more blogs, and then you can change the button color. So if I wanted to set it to my color, can change that here. I can change the text color to white and then the border color to a full black. So it looks a little bit more like my branding. And then if I come into the advanced, I can do some options in the spacing. So I can take all the padding off so that it fills up the entire box there like that. And then I can add in margin if I want it further away from the row border or other things. Can also add a border or a shadow. So if you look at this, you can see if I click off of this, it now has a box around it. I don't really like that look. So I'm just going to click back on it, go back to advanced, and remove that border. But you can control all of that. So just say no border there, and you can have a shadow as well. And then I can also turn it off on desktop or on mobile. So that's kind of your options there. And then I'm just going to make this to where the blog is what's taking up the majority of the page. And you can see that there's this weird spacing between my element and my column. So I'm just going to click my column and I'm going to take off all of this padding so that the blog can take up the full column. So there we go. And then I can add in an element over here and I can just like add in a form if you want to have an opt-in form. It's going to tell me to choose my form and let's just throw in my 30-day research jumpstart guide. So now it can show up like this. So this is a really basic one. You can also like add in another section down here and like maybe pitch a product or something else going on. So you can really tailor this to what you want. So now let's hit save and I'm going to preview it to show you what this looks like now. All right, so this is now the compact view. These are your images over here. And like in this case, this one showed up pretty well. This one did not show up very well. So you might want to be thinking about whenever you're creating that SEO image, how do you want it to look on this main page? So in this case, you're going to have your blog post going here. Now, even though we set that blog post to, I think, 6 blogs or 10 blogs, I only have 4. So it's only showing 4 here. I do want to show you how that does work, though. So if I click back in it and I make it only allow it to show 3, and I click save, and then I refresh this page, it's only showing me my top 3 blogs now. So that is what is controlling that. So you can show more just by changing the pagination there. And so you would just click on one of these blogs now to be able to see it, and everything else on the page is going to stay the same. So what you can see now is this is now in the middle of my page, and I actually want it to stay at the top here so that even if they don't get to the middle of it, they can still see the opt-in form. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do that real quick. To get our form or whatever's on our right-hand side to stay at the top when they go to a main page, we want to click at the column that it's in, and we're going to scroll down under General Settings and go to Column Layout. What we want to do is have that content spacing be left. That's going to keep it at the upper end of the page. And then we can click Save. And once we refresh our page, now our opt-in form stays at the upper end of our page. And so that is how we can, keep that opt-in form up there. The last thing I want to show you real quick, and I'm going to jump back over to my blog because it actually has a domain, is how do people start accessing your blog? So we can always just go to your URL/blog or whatever path you gave that name, and it's going to send them to the main blog page. But what if you wanted to send them to a specific blog? So in your blog, you're going to create the slug or the URL that it goes to. So you can see here, this is my URL/blog/B start research articles. So you want to first navigate to the page that you have your blog sitting on. So you can actually have your blog on multiple different website pages, and you can choose which one you're navigating them to by controlling this page right here. So if I had this as like super blog, maybe my super blog has a blog element and has a whole like sales page on it, then that would take them to that page. And then this B is telling it to give the blog widget to feed in this specific blog in here. So if I just go take off this, and this is B start research articles. So I'm going to take off that and just navigate to my blog page. And that's going to be there. And then I would do B/start research articles. And then it would pull up this specific one. Now, if I don't have the blog in there, so if, let's just say I went to my main site and then did B and start research articles, it is literally just going to bring up my main homepage because there is no blog widget for it to fit this information in. So when you look at it, nothing is different than my normal homepage. And if I did have a blog widget on there, then it would show this specific blog on that blog section of the page, if that makes sense. So whenever you're wanting to give out the path to your blog, you want to make sure you're going to the blog page, then /B, and then the URL you set for your specific blog. If you're getting started with TekMatix, there will be a link below where you can get a 14-day free trial for it. They are currently in their beta pricing. And if you're still working on setting up your site on TekMatix and want more resources, you can check out a link below to get free access to the TekMatix Vault that I've created. Just has a ton of free resources and a checklist to get you started in there. So you can check that out in the link below. I hope you enjoyed this video and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.